I was working at a bookstore, and I decided that I want to never work a 9 to 5 job again. But I decided it that morning, and so I was driving to work, and I told myself like, this is a fucking horrible life, dude. I never want to do this shit. I'm like, what am I gonna do? My parents told me to be an artist. Every school counselor said you can't make a living making art. Everybody's telling me don't do art, you know. But I'm like, well, shit, man, this is what I want to do. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll figure it out. I'm gonna be a school teacher. I was going to college at the time. Driving to work, I decided I'm gonna quit 9 to 5. I'm never gonna work for anybody ever again. I show up at work. I walked during lunch, and I never worked a 9 to 5 job ever again. That was like about 20 years ago. And so I was painting murals. So I was like, shit, I went back home. I told my lady at the time, like, hey, man, I quit my job. I just want to be an artist. And she's like, well, what the fuck are you going to do? And I was like, well, I don't know yet. I'm going to try to figure this out starting today. And so I started painting nonstop. I went out to every business and asked if I could paint a mural for them. And like a week, 2 weeks later, I'm painting a mural. And my buddy Jesse Mercado rolls up in a little golf cart. He was some security guard or some shit at the time. And he's like, hey, man, I'm opening up a tattoo shop. I had no tattoos on me. I had no idea what the fuck tattoos were. Like, I just see my homies had some and shit. And he's like, I'm opening up a tattoo shop if you want to be my apprentice. I'm familiar with your graffiti. And so if you want to learn. And my initial response was like, no, man, I'm an artist. I'm an artist. I don't want to be a tattooer, man. Because I just was naive. You didn't know shit. And so finally I was like, fuck, man, I better take him up on that offer. So I ended up there. I ended up at a spot called Concrete Jungle. And that's where I started to learn how to do like just little handwriting, tattooing cholos and all types of stuff like that, you know.
That's pretty sick. Fucking on this show, we've spoken to a lot of people that have like the do-it-yourself, mindset. Whether
Yeah.
they're a lead singer in a band or a graffiti artist or a dude that goes to thrift shops and sells vintage clothes, like different people, and like it takes a risk almost to go against the status quo, go against like what the system has set up for you, because yeah, there's different programs, like thousands of them, in order to be a doctor or in order to follow this certain path to become like have a successful career. But there's
Yeah.
no path or schooling to do it yourself attitude to do your own business. So
Right.
what kind of risks did you like go through in a way, or like did you have any hiccups where you thought like this is like not a financial reward, I kind of have to go back to a 9 to 5? Did that ever happen?
That never happened because my lifestyle is really simple, you know, and I never had ambitions of like being a millionaire or making a lot of money or anything like that, you know. So it was always let me make sure I'm able to feed myself and my kids, and the minimum I could do that, I'm going to be happy that way, you know. And so even when I was younger, starting to do graffiti and all that stuff, and my ambitions was never to like be a famous dude, because I just wasn't my shit, because I know what it takes to be the best. It means you sacrifice everything, you know, and whether that's MMA or jujitsu or a graffiti or anything like that, all the guys at the very, very top, they sacrificed it all, you know. So if you're not ready to sacrifice your friendships, all your relationships, and many hours of sleep, then I don't know, but my goal wasn't to be the best. It was just to be the best within myself and be able to balance all the different aspects of my life, you know?
Yeah.
And so back then it was my whole goal was to just to be the best in my city. You know, my goal was just to try to be the best dude in Diego, because I'm never going to be the best dude in New York. I'm never going to be the best dude today. It was always like, hey, I'm just going to focus on San Diego and try to build all my relationships and all my crafts here in this city, you know? Next thing you know, internet happens, there's Instagram, and so now there's all this interconnectedness, and now I'm able to talk to you guys in New York. I got friends in Europe, I got friends in Japan, and it's just beautiful, you know. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing. And there's two things. One is that through just growing up and observing online or just observing the way people live their lives, I know a lot of people, including myself for a very long period of time, they get caught in this web almost of this life that you just really don't want to live, but you feel like you have no choice. You feel like, well, what am I supposed to do? Quit my 9 to 5 and start selling vintage clothes, or what am I supposed to do? And it sounds like a horrendous, ridiculous idea that would never work. And you know, and it doesn't help that from the people around us, you usually get negative comments like, why would you ever do that? Are you stupid? You're ridiculous? And because of that, you live your whole life stuck in this web of like, you don't want to live this way. And sometimes it's not even for things that you want. It's just like for the happiness or judgment of other people. And I really respect and admire when people like you, or people like almost everyone we've had on this podcast, says, nah,
Yeah.
I'm going to do my thing. And what I've noticed is from a lot of the people who do it, they start not really with a goal in mind of like, this is where it will go. They just have a lot of enthusiasm and true passion for what they're doing. And it naturally segues into what the universe like has ready, or whatever you want to call it. It just naturally happens. Like a lot of the guests we've had on, they've had immense success in their field. And I'm like, yo, and you didn't plan this? I believe them, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
imagine what, like, that's crazy. It's crazy just by following what, like really putting in effort and what you love to do, what you can accomplish without any major long-term plan.
Yeah, I think if you wake up, try to be the best person that day, it's going to cause a reaction, you know? And so sometimes people, they're like, I want to be the best rapper that's ever fucking lived. You're being too ambitious, man. You're never going to get to, it's like a white belt talking about, I'm going to be the best black belt ever. It's like, bro, just focus on being the best white belt, dude. What the fuck are you talking about?